This is not your normal review of the Google Nest Hub Max. Now, I don't know about you, but before I buy anything, I don't look at one review, I look at 10 reviews. And that is exactly what we did today. We looked at 10 reviews of the Google Nest Hub Max from major tech publications to some of our favorite YouTubers and broke down the general consensus of the important features of the Nest Hub Max. So if you want to save yourself some time reading and watching all those reviews and learn the best price to pay for this, stay tuned because this is a Slickdeals 10-in-1 review on the Nest Hub Max. Starting off with the screen, the consensus was generally positive. Most reviewers spoke highly of it, with only one really having major issues with it. The main takeaway being, if you're going to set the Max up to watch videos, especially from YouTube, or to view pictures, the big screen is a top feature. As PC Mag put it, the screen itself is 1280 by 800 pixels that gets pleasantly bright and colorful. And The Verge praised its beautiful screen for displaying photos. The Guardian also particularly loved how it displayed photos. The review stated, if you use Google Photos, the Hub Max is the best digital photo frame you can buy by far. YouTuber 6 Month Later Reviews said that the Photos display was one of the most impactful parts of this device's experience. CNET, however, took a different view, noting that with a 10-inch screen, the Nest Hub Max is bigger than most people probably need or want. Now onto how this sounds. The professional consensus was somewhat positive. Engadget claimed that the Nest Hub Max is much better than the Nest Hub in terms of sound quality, and Wired stated the Hub Max has much better speakers, noting that they're among the best built-in speakers in the device class. YouTuber Techspert echoed these sentiments and said, if you're going to be streaming a lot of tunes through your smart display, then I would definitely put this one right at the top of the list. CNET was a little bit more reserved, yet again, stating that there's a respectable jump in sound quality, but when compared to its rival, Amazon's Echo Show, they noted that the Echo Show sounds slightly fuller, while the Nest Hub Max is a bit more crisp. The Verge was by far the most disappointed, saying that compared to the Echo Show, the Hub Max doesn't sound nearly as full or as powerful. PC Mag went even further and said that the Max can easily fill a room, but it doesn't have much low frequency rumble and flirts with distortion at max volume. The main takeaway from all of these reviews, the speakers on the Nest Hub Max are an upgrade from the standard Nest Hub, but not as big and powerful as the ones found on the Google Home Max. How about the camera? The consensus was also generally positive. While the camera is a fairly standard 6.5 megapixel camera, Engadget noted it uses the camera in new clever ways, such as face matching, gestures, and auto framing in video calls. PC Mag was delighted that it had many of the same options and functions as standalone Nest cams. And TechCrunch found the camera to be a key feature, saying it effectively unlocks a whole slew of new functionality. Critics also generally liked the quick gesture feature, which lets you use hand signals to stop music, although some reviewers noted this feature didn't always work at the edges of the field of view. That said, there are limitations. Wired notes that it's great that the camera offers a 127-degree field of view, so it can capture most of a room, but critically, it cannot see in the dark. And almost universally, critics were annoyed at the lack of a privacy shutter to flip over the camera. TechCrunch found it a strange oversight and one that seems to have been made largely for aesthetic reasons. Meanwhile, The Guardian sums up the overall impression nicely, calling the camera a mixed blessing, introducing more worries about privacy. The overall impression we got from the reviews was that the camera is really solid in terms of quality and comes with some helpful features, but without an integrated way to cover it, those who are concerned about privacy might want to stay away. Finally, what did reviewers think of the app support? This one was pretty split actually. For Google apps, the consensus was generally positive, but for third-party app support, the consensus was the exact opposite, generally negative. Critics were happy with how well the Hub Max was integrated with Google Assistant, YouTube, and Nest. The Hub Max has the same voice-activated Google Assistant smarts and the same snappy operating system as the original, according to CNET. while Wired noted the brief setup time, stating, "A simple good morning to Assistant has it read me the day's weather, preview my morning commute, tell me if I had any meetings or reminders for the day, and read me the headlines I might want to hear." Google Duo also works well, particularly when it's used in the auto framing feature, according to Engadget. Specifically, the reviewer says, when enabled, you will always be the center of the frame, no matter where you are in the room. However, where the Hub Max lost a lot of points was on every app that wasn't developed by Google. Wired notes that you really have to be all in on Google apps. You can listen to Spotify or Pandora, for example, but not Apple Music. And while the ever excellent access to Google Calendar is baked in, you can't use Apple's underrated but solid calendar and reminders. The Verge and TechRadar couldn't get Netflix to run, with TechRadar noting that while you can link the speaker to your Netflix account in the Google Home app, it simply refuses to play any Netflix content when you ask it to. PCMag was annoyed that Skype wasn't supported, and TechCrunch noted that Chromecast support does help, but that's a workaround at best. So if you're a big fan of the Google ecosystem, you're not going to have any issues with the applications, but it isn't necessarily the only smart speaker you'll ever need. Okay, so quick update. Since recording this video, Google has officially announced that Netflix is now available on the Nest Hub and the Nest Hub Max. We just wanted to clear that up because this might affect the reviewers' opinions on this. We calculated the average score of all these reviews, and it came out to around an 8.3 out of 10. Consumers were a bit nicer and gave the Google Nest Hub Max a 9.2 out of 10. So if everything we covered today convinced you that you want a Nest Hub Max, how much did you actually pay for one? We're telling you now, you should never pay the full retail price of $229 because this thing has some seriously great deals recently. In the past 7 months, there have been 7 front page deals for it. Typical discounts range from $25 to $80 off retail price, with the average price across all of the deals being around $180. These also frequently come bundled in 2-packs or bundled with a standard Nest Hub. The lowest price we've seen by far was $120 for a 2-pack, but that was a price mistake, so don't expect those deals too often. If you are in the market and want to ensure you get the best price, set a deal alert and we'll notify you when our community finds a great sale. We left a link in the description to do just that. And you can also check out our how to set a deal alert video if you want to learn more. Okay, so if you liked this video, please leave it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Don't forget to subscribe for more content and reviews like this, and let us know in the comments what you want to see next on this series.